first question, which Matt has pulled up, we've gotten a number of people asking about, is on the subject of how trademarks are going to be handled. There's actually something as described in the white paper that all of you as participants received in advance called the Trademark Clearinghouse that's run by ICANN. So we've been asked, can we talk a little bit more about the Trademark Clearinghouse and what is the trademark protection process? How will this actually play out? How do I know if somebody is trying to register a string that I consider my own? Who's got a...
I'll have a first crack at this, but call upon everybody else to come in as well. The first thing with intellectual property and trademark issues is firstly about you're applying for your trademark or your string, and then secondly about protection at the second level.
Okay.
Right. So let's talk about the first one. So you're thinking of applying for, if you don't mind me using Deloitte, we're out there. So let's say you're applying for Deloitte, and you say as part of the application, here's my trademarks in various parts of the world for Deloitte. And that's putting forward your trademark protection, and I think makes everything pretty straightforward. You apply for Deloitte, and I apply for Deloitte, and you've got clear trademark protection, and I don't, then there is a dispute process which will very quickly find that you're fine. You apply for Deloitte, and I apply for Deloitte, and I run a series of restaurant chains called Deloitte, and you run broad-based business services and accounting practices. Then there's a process similar to a dispute resolution process. It's similar to the uniform dispute resolution process. It's different. It's a dispute resolution process. WIPO will be involved in probably to run that, my understanding.
So it does not go straight to a bidding war? So
no, it will go through an evaluation. You go through an evaluation. If we both end up being equally trademark, intellectual property rights to those names, then we may well get caught in then a process of having to go to an auction. Can I please say something about the auction process? The auction process is actually designed for there not to be any auctions.
Okay. How do you design an auction process?
You give people 2 months or more to talk to each other.
Okay.
Right. So there's been some press speculation that the auction thing was a mechanism for ICANN to make money for itself. It's the exact opposite. It's to try to find some way find some way that you actually get this resolved, and the hope is that the parties themselves will work out some deal.
Right.
But if that doesn't work out, there would then be an option.
Now, what about the scenario? So that's Deloitte. They know they're going down this route. But what about if I am Virgin? And I'm not sure I'm planning to do this. I maybe haven't made a decision. And somebody else, Virgin Islands, or I don't know, for whatever cause, a business in another industry or something, puts out an application to get .virgin.
Yeah.
Will I know about that?
Yeah. Well,
I haven't started.
First of all, that will all become public, what the strings are that people have applied for. And secondly, this objection process will allow you to come in as an objector and say, I wish to object on the grounds that my following intellectual property is going to be breached. And this process I talked before of a panel evaluation, I said WIPO engagement. There's much more about this inside the application guidebook.
Okay.
The second set of issues here is about the Trademark Clearinghouse. And that's a proposal. If you're looking at the guidebook, it's around pages 304, 305 for the next period in the application guidebook, where they're calling for a provider to put together basically a global registry where trademark holders can come and register their trademarks that they hold, and there's a lot of sort of legal detail about what you have to show, which will then be used to be drawn upon by the registries who are required to put in place intellectual property protection mechanisms into the registry. And as part of your application, you have to say how you're going to protect intellectual property rights, including things such as sunrise provisions. So if you are offering a generic top-level domain that's we'll make something, .smile, and you're wanting smile to be, you're wanting that to be, sell it to lots of people, then the Trademark Clearinghouse is the one place that people who hold trademarks can once only give the details of their trademark. And then all of the registries are required to go to the clearinghouse to look at the details of that. So one of the great costs for trademark holders is they have to inform every registry, right? Well, this is just you inform one once.
So this means that if you've registered .smile We've got a new business built around in our community. And I come to you and say, hi, I'd like to register Deloitte.smile. That this trademark clearinghouse is where Deloitte will have placed their, planted their flag and said, by the way, this is our trademark. And so you would know that I come to it.
Well, that would be, my understanding, that's a prima facie basis whereby there can be a resolution process which actually suspends your application. Right. Also, if you say, okay, if Deloitte has put their trademarks inside the clearinghouse, and then there is a sunrise provision, and I apply for in the sunrise period, it's a period open for trademark holders, and I turn up and say, I want Deloitte. Well, the registry has to turn around and say, but hang on, your details are not the same thing as in the clearinghouse, we can't give it to you.
Clearinghouse is a pretty significant advancement from the historical. There have been a number of new TLD launches, 16 launches since 2001, and they've all had different characteristics. And one of the issues that the trademark community, the IP community, came to ICANN with is, look, if you're going to have hundreds, maybe 1,000, maybe more new TLDs coming out, this is going to be an enormous burden to us because historically, you had to register all of your names, your whole portfolio of names, all your brands and so forth, in each TLD as it came out. And that not only created a lot of work for people, but it also created a lot of expense because you've got to maintain that portfolio then over time. So imagine if a brand has, there's 272 TLDs on the internet today. Say a big brand has 250 of those, and they have a portfolio of 10 names. That's quite a bit of names already to maintain, and if you multiply that by a factor of 10, it's going to be way more. So ICANN, working with the IP community, devised this clearinghouse thing where brand owners can register their name in the clearinghouse one time, and then each registry operator, be it 50 or 100 or 2,000 of them, has to then check with the clearinghouse each time a registration comes in to see if it matches anything in the clearinghouse. And if it does, then a message needs to go to the appropriate owner, the one who's registered and vetted in the clearinghouse, to let them know that there's a potential infringement happening. So it's a much simpler process. It's a much less expensive process. And in addition to that, ICANN has a whole host of other protections for IP. There's a rapid dispute service that allows you to take names down that are infringing pretty quickly. They've really spent a lot of time with the IP community building what is a much better process than has been happening in the past. I don't think anybody's fully satisfied with it. I don't think anybody thinks it's perfect, but it's dramatically better than what happened in the past and is a significant step forward.